Hi, we're from Sheartak Tools, a Canadian-based company that provides woodworking and metalworking tools. In this video, we will discuss the bearing removal process without using bearing pullers. Bearing pullers are ineffective when the arms of the tool don't have enough grip under the bearing to pull it out. This happens when the bearing is sitting too close to the shaft or there is no room for the bearing puller to fit. They might also not work when the bearing is fitted on too tightly and there is an insufficient force to remove the bearing. To get started, you would need a small rotary saw. Make sure the size is small enough so that when cutting the bearing, the saw blade does not damage the side of the cutter block. Other tools required are a hex wrench to remove carbide inserts, a flat-headed screwdriver or any chisel-like tool, a hammer, and a marker. For safety precautions, be sure to wear goggles, gloves, and a mask to prevent airborne hazards and have plastic wrap ready for the cutter head. The first step is to wrap the entire cutter head in layers of plastic wrap to protect the shaft body. Remove the carbide inserts closest to the edge using an appropriate hex wrench and set the pieces aside. Use some more plastic wrap and wrap it around the surface of the shaft closest to the bearing. Once preparations are ready and all safety gear is worn, take a marker to mark the location of the cut and grab the saw. Start with cutting a light groove and slowly increase the length and depth of the cut. Hold the cutter head steady as this step may take a while. Pay extra attention to not graze any parts of the cutter head. When the cut has enough room for the chisel tool, hammer the tool firmly in between the cracks. In this case, we're using a flathead screwdriver. Once the tool is wedged in, move it from side to side in attempt to loosen the bearing. Use a hammer if needed, until the bearing breaks apart and falls off. Repeat this step and remove as much as possible of the bearing components until you reach the innermost ring of the bearing. Repeat the initial cutting procedure with the saw and chisel the part until the whole bearing can be removed. Now the bearing is fully removed. We hope this video was helpful and be sure to follow all safety procedures. If you need any assistance or replacement parts, be sure to check out Sheartak's website at www.sheartak.com or send us an email at sales@sheartak.com for woodworking supplies and more. Happy woodworking!